Summary of Becoming Ella Fitzgerald, the jazz singer who transformed American song, written by Judith. Chapter 1. Ella Fitzgerald, the iconic jazz vocalist, whose voice became synonymous with elegance and sophistication, had humble beginnings that laid the foundation for her extraordinary career. Born on April 25, 1917, in Newport News, Virginia, Ella spent her early years in the midst of significant historical and social changes. The passage begins with a vivid description of a memorable concert in Hampton Roads on June 27, 1992, marking one of the last performances of Ella Fitzgerald's six-decade-long career. The narrative then transports us back to the roots of her legacy, where 8,332 people gathered in the Hampton Coliseum to witness the jazz legend's prowess. The setting, situated in southeastern Virginia with its tidal coast, ocean, ports, and beaches, serves as a backdrop for the rich narrative that unfolds. The Hampton Jazz Festival, celebrating its 25th anniversary, had a special connection to Ella as she was born in Newport News, just 8 miles away. The festival became a platform to honor her, and on that Saturday night, she took the stage, a frail yet powerful figure at 75. The text vividly describes her entrance, emphasizing her partial sight and the request to avoid flash cameras due to her fragile eyes. Despite her physical challenges, Ella's performance was described as robust, with the festival organizer, John Scott, noting her ability to sing as if she were 18. The narrative then shifts to Ella's early years, spent in Newport News, providing historical context to her upbringing. Born to Tempe Williams and William Fitzgerald, Ella's parents navigated the challenges of the early 20th century, a period marked by racial segregation, disenfranchisement of black voters, and the Great Migration. Ella's parents were part of the movement of African Americans leaving the rural South, seeking better opportunities in urban areas. The socioeconomic landscape of Newport News during World War I is explored, with Ella's father working as a longshoreman during a period of economic prosperity. The city's shipbuilding and dry dock company played a significant role, boasting the title of the largest employer of skilled black labor globally. Tempe, Ella's mother, contributed to the household as well, engaging in general housework. The passage paints a picture of a thriving but racially divided city. Despite the economic boom, the realities of racial inequality persisted. The 1920 census labeled Ella's family as mulatto, and the narrative hints at the challenges faced by black families in terms of education. Segregation in schools is highlighted, with black children having limited access to education until 1924. Ella's family eventually moved to Yonkers, New York, during the post-war recession. The narrative delves into the contrasting sides of Yonkers, the affluent, trolley car suburb on the east bank of the Hudson River, and the highly industrialized section where Ella's family resided. The family faced economic struggles, with Tempe working in commercial laundries to make ends meet. Yonkers becomes a significant backdrop for Ella's formative years, and the passage explores her early exposure to music. Tempe, with her classical voice, introduced Ella to classical music. The influence of Mamie Smith, Connie Boswell, and the Mills Brothers is mentioned, highlighting the diverse musical palette that shaped Ella's early musical inclinations. The narrative then turns its focus to Ella's education and her introduction to the world of performing arts. Despite limited formal education, Ella attended Benjamin Franklin Junior High School, where she took a music course and learned solfège. Her early attempts at playing the piano are recounted, with Ella recalling her fascination with her teacher's technique. Ella's inclination towards dancing is also explored, with vivid descriptions of her social dancing and her connection to the Lindy Hop. The Savoy Ballroom in Harlem becomes a significant setting, where Ella and her friend Charles practiced their dance moves. The narrative captures the essence of social dancing during the era, emphasizing the influence of jazz music. The passage delves into Ella's aspirations of becoming a dancer and the societal expectations of young African American women during that time. The vibrant atmosphere of Harlem's entertainment scene, with stars like Florence Mills, Frady Washington, and Lena Horne, provides a backdrop for Ella's dreams. As the narrative unfolds, Ella's adolescence is marked by her multifaceted talents, from singing to dancing. The passage paints a portrait of a young, ambitious girl who defied societal norms and pursued her passions. It sets the stage for Ella Fitzgerald's remarkable journey from the streets of Yonkers to the pinnacle of the jazz world. In conclusion, the passage offers a comprehensive glimpse into Ella Fitzgerald's early life, weaving together historical context, personal anecdotes, and cultural nuances. It captures the essence of an era marked by racial challenges, economic shifts, and the vibrant cultural landscape of jazz and dance. Ella's resilience, talent, and early influences come to life, laying the groundwork for the legendary career that would unfold in the decades to come. Chapter 2. Ella Fitzgerald's journey through the intricacies of racism, poverty, and her pursuit of a musical career unfolded against the backdrop of the Great Depression. Born on April 25, 1917, in Newport News, Virginia, she faced the challenges of a difficult childhood marked by economic struggles and familial hardships. As she navigated her formative years, Ella's resilience and undeniable talent for singing began to emerge, ultimately propelling her into the world of jazz and making her one of the most influential voices in the history of American music. Ella's family moved to Yonkers, New York, during her early childhood, seeking better economic opportunities. However, the Fitzgeralds found themselves caught in the economic downturn of the 1930s. The Great Depression cast a long shadow over the nation, leaving countless families grappling with poverty and uncertainty. In Yonkers, Ella's family was no exception, facing financial difficulties that would significantly shape the course of her life. Tragedy struck the Fitzgerald family in 1932 when Ella's mother, Tempe, was involved in a serious car accident. The accident left Tempe with severe injuries, rendering her unable to work and exacerbating the family's financial struggles. The burden of providing for the family fell heavily on Ella and her stepfather, Joe Da Silva. Ella Fitzgerald's teenage years were marked by a delicate balancing act, juggling the responsibilities of family life with her burgeoning passion for music. Growing up in Yonkers, she found solace and inspiration in the vibrant African American community that surrounded her. Despite the economic hardships, Ella immersed herself in the rich cultural and musical experiences that the community offered. At the age of 15, Ella's dreams of a musical career began to take shape. She started performing in social clubs within the African American community in Yonkers, participating in events and dances organized by clubs like the Ivy Social Gaiety Girls and the Regular Fellows. These clubs formed a federation in 1933, creating a platform for young talents like Ella to showcase their abilities. Ella Fitzgerald's first known public performance occurred in January 1933 at a charity entertainment and dance event sponsored by the Yonkers Federation of Negro Clubs. The event featured prominent acts such as Buck and Bubbles and Adelaide Hall. For Ella, this marked a crucial moment in her development as an artist, challenging the perception of her as a shy novice. Tommy C., Jr., the president of the Yonkers Federation of Negro Clubs, described Ella as a confident performer, showcasing her snake hips moves. However, the economic challenges persisted, pushing Ella to the brink. Struggling to make ends meet, she resorted to skipping school and hustling for small change on Yonkers street corners. This led to her arrest for truancy in April 1933. Subsequently, she appeared in children's court, labeled as ungovernable and unwilling to obey her mother's commands. Despite having her mother and stepfather at home, Ella was sentenced to 5 years at the New York State Training School for Girls in Hudson. The training school presented a challenging environment for Ella, but amidst the difficulties, she found a refuge in music. She received some education in the arts, including music, and even played the piano. A woman named Helen Pitcher played a crucial role in Ella's musical education, helping her understand harmony and fostering her passion for success. In the 1960s, the New York State Training School for Girls invited Ella back as a distinguished alumna. However, despite the recognition, Ella harbored deep resentment for the place due to past mistreatment. Racial segregation prevented her from joining the school choir, underscoring the racial challenges she faced even in her pursuit of musical education. By the spring of 1934, Ella was back in Yonkers, determined to pursue a musical career despite the hurdles. The repeal of Prohibition had led to the closure of many Harlem clubs, but a surge in black show business emerged, catering to the local audience. In 1934, top Harlem theaters, including the Apollo, the Lafayette Theatre, and the Harlem Opera House, began offering a week's booking for their Negro acts and revues. Ella's breakthrough moment came in November 1934 when she participated in the Harlem Amateur Hour at the Apollo Theatre. Initially nervous and uncertain, her performance turned into a revelation, captivating the audience with her exceptional voice. Despite winning the contest, the promised week's booking was initially denied. However, the Harlem Opera House eventually honored the prize in February 1935. This engagement at the Harlem Opera House became a turning point in Ella's career. Headlining with Tiny Bradshaw, she received positive reviews, and her distinctive voice began to gain recognition. A column in the Baltimore Afro-American praised her remarkable voice and celebrated her signing with Tiny Bradshaw. Ella's song choices during this period showcased her playfulness and wit in navigating racial complexities. Songs like The Object of My Affection allowed her to engage with and challenge prevailing racial norms. The lyrics, with lines like The object of my affection can change my complexion, highlighted her ability to infuse humor and social commentary into her performances. Despite initial setbacks in auditions with prominent figures like John Hammond and Fletcher Henderson, Ella's resilience and determination led her to a significant breakthrough at the Harlem Opera House. This marked the beginning of her remarkable journey in the world of music, where she would go on to become one of the most celebrated and influential jazz vocalists of all time. As Ella's career continued to flourish, she faced additional challenges related to racism and discrimination. In the racially segregated landscape of the 1930s and 1940s, Black artists often had to confront systemic barriers that limited their opportunities and recognition. Ella Fitzgerald, with her remarkable talent and perseverance, managed to break through these barriers, becoming a trailblazer for future generations of Black artists. Her association with the Chick Webb Orchestra further elevated her status in the music industry. After winning the amateur night contest at the Apollo, Ella joined Webb's orchestra in 1935, replacing Webb's former vocalist and becoming a regular performer at Harlem's Savoy Ballroom. The collaboration with Webb was pivotal for Ella's career, providing her with valuable experience and exposure. Tragedy struck again in 1939 when Chick Webb passed away, leaving the orchestra without its leader. However, the band continued under Ella's leadership, and she began to make a name for herself as a solo artist. One of her early hits during this period was A Tisket, A Tasket, a playful and catchy tune that became a commercial success. The success of A Tisket, A Tasket catapulted Ella Fitzgerald to stardom, establishing her as a prominent figure in the jazz and swing music scenes. Her vocal prowess, distinctive scat singing, and ability to interpret songs in a unique and emotive way set her apart from her contemporaries. Ella's voice, often described as pure, flexible, and filled with emotion, resonated with audiences across racial and social divides. Ella's career continued to soar through the 1940s, a period that saw her collaboration with other jazz legends such as Louis Armstrong and Duke Ellington. Her duets with Armstrong, including classics like Dream a Little Dream of Me and Cheek to Cheek, showcased a magical chemistry that endeared them to audiences worldwide. Despite her musical success, Ella Fitzgerald faced the challenges of racism.